Hi, my name is Ashley McCauley. I'm the Deputy Head of Mission at the Embassy of Ireland to Chile, Peru, and Ecuador, based in Santiago, Chile. I'm delighted to be joined here today by Lána Salmon. She's calling in from Kildare in Ireland, and Jessica Erkal in Waterford. They're here as part of our celebration of St. Brigid's Day, which is a series of global events in our embassies around the world, celebrating the talent and creativity of Irish women. Jessica and Lána both work in astronomy, and they're members of the AirSat-1 mission that aims to launch Ireland's first satellite. So Lána and Jessica, you're both very welcome today. Lána, I might start by asking you to introduce yourself. I know that you're a PhD student studying at the UCD Space Science Group, and I was wondering if you could tell me a bit about your work.
Absolutely, yeah. So I'm funded by the Irish Research Council to do my PhD, which I started 3 and a bit years ago now. And I work on gamma ray bursts. They are the most energetic explosions in the universe. And so that means we can see them from very, very far away. We're looking far, far back in time when the universe was young. But also I work on gravitational waves, which are these ripples in space-time, which travel across space when big events happen, like 2 stars colliding or stars dying. And so it's a really exciting area to be in because there's always new things happening. But I also work on AirSat-1 as well.
Okay, and you're in Kildare at the moment, but normally you'd be working from University College Dublin.
Yeah, that's right. And I think I'm lucky as well in the sense that a lot of astronomy is, kind of remote in the sense that we can use telescopes from Kildare and Waterford to do what we need to do. But I am missing the kind of team aspect of things working from home.
Yeah, that's great. I guess when I think of looking in a telescope, I think of physically looking. You obviously can see lots of your images from your computer wherever you are in the world. So Jessica, you're also a PhD student and you're in the star formation group at UCD as well. But you're currently based in the European Southern Observatory that have their headquarters in Germany. Would you like to introduce yourself and a bit about your work?
So me and Lána both started our PhDs the same year, so I'm also in my final year now. My work is on star formation, and I focus specifically on protostellar jets. And I try and investigate and understand the role of these protostellar jets. They're just these big columns of emission that are emanating from young stars as they're forming, and we think that from different characteristics and properties of these jets, we can kind of figure out how planets might form or how the configuration of the material and the magnetic fields in this whole system and the disk can affect planet formation and migration as the star evolves. And as well, I work on the AirSat-1 team as product assurance manager.
That sounds fascinating. I'm going to ask you now, actually, I might ask Lána to explain a little bit about this AirSat-1, which aims to be Ireland's first satellite launch. I know you both work on the project, but Lána, do you want to tell me a little bit about it?
Sure, yeah. So again, when myself and Jess started our PhDs, we were kind of lucky to be there at the beginning of this exciting mission. So AirSat-1 is a student-led team, but with support from academics and industry partners based at UCD to build and launch Ireland's first satellite. We're doing this as part of the European Space Agency's Flyer Satellite program, where they basically support university teams to go through the whole process of designing, building, testing, and launching a satellite. But it's an incredible educational experience for the students involved, because we really are learning as we go and getting the kind of training that's needed and putting the infrastructure in place so that Ireland can continue to build satellites in the future.
Okay. And that also sounds fascinating. And I'd be interested to know kind of with all the different projects you're working on, what would your typical day look like? I know it's difficult now with COVID and lockdowns, but in imagine on a normal day in the office, what would you guys be doing? I don't know if Lána, you want to answer that.
Sure, yeah. So like kind of like Jess, I suppose we kind of split our time between sort of different things. But I work an awful lot on the computer coding when I'm working on my sort of gamma ray burst research and using data from satellites, past and present, and trying to string together an idea of what is actually happening in these events. But the kind of work on AirSat has really sort of complemented that in the fact that I get to work in a team of people. And so I work on communications, so the onboard radio, the onboard antenna, and the ground station, which is what's going to collect all the data. And so kind of working in those teams, we might be testing the communications board, making sure that that works in the lab, but now remotely. We might be working on software for collecting that data and showing it. So it's really fun to work with other people from different disciplines and learn from each other in a more dynamic way than just working on my computer.
Sure. And Jessica, how did you get into this area of work? Were you interested in it from when you were a kid, or how did you?
Yeah, so when I remember being very small and just always kind of being fascinated with like the moon and stuff, and was really into, oh, the full moon is tonight, or it's next week, or this kind of thing. And then as I got older, and I still kind of kept that interest, and I would see like pictures from Hubble online or like on TV or this kind of thing, and it was always kind of a constant throughout, but I never really knew how to follow that or like how to get into that. I didn't really know if you could study it in Ireland. And then in my Leaving Cert, I did physics and applied maths, and my physics teacher, she was really into like trying to get everyone to do physics for their degrees. So when we went to like the career fairs and open days, and I remember specifically at Higher Options, this was like my decision-making point. I met a student from UCC who was doing the astrophysics course there. And he just seemed so excited about it all, and there was finally like a way to get into working with space and studying space formally. So that was kind of where my mind was set, actually, at Higher Options when I was still in school.
Great. Yeah, I did physics for the Leaving Cert. That's Irish secondary school, the same, and it was great fun. I didn't study it then in college, but I really would recommend it as a subject. And yourself, Lána, did you get into astronomy in school, or was it when you were in university?
Yeah, I think, when I was a kid, I had a telescope, and so I was always kind of interested in that. And when I kind of got into school, into secondary school, I realized that it was the kind of problem solving kind of subjects that I really enjoyed. So physics and technology, which is kind of all about building things. I did chemistry as well. But at the same time, they were my worst subjects. So, it was hard for me, I suppose, in the end to decide what I wanted to do. But I kind of figured that because it is like something that I love doing, and I absolutely love kind of having a problem to solve or some kind of challenge, and space is kind of the biggest challenge of all. I figured that I should kind of follow that path, and so that's what I did. And I can't recommend enough kind of picking out what it is that you love, and kind of just following that rather than the letters on the paper that give you your grades.
Yeah, that's great advice. I think that's really excellent. And I want to go back to telescopes, but not the ones we have when we're small kids, but the very large ones. And I want to ask Jessica about her studentship with the European Southern Observatory. The European Southern Observatory is headquartered in Germany, but is hosted here in Chile. And Ireland joined the ESO in 2018. So Jessica, could you explain to us what is the European Southern Observatory and why are they here in Chile?
Yeah, so the European Southern Observatory, it's an intergovernmental body, which is a big fancy word for it's a load of different countries who all contribute some money in and then resources, as in people, to contribute to leading research. And for the studentship, I'm actually the first Irish student to be on this studentship since Ireland joined. Since Ireland joined ESO, and the relationship with between ESO and Chile is about 50 years strong now, I think, at this point. And basically the great point, or like the strength of that relationship between ESO and Chile is based on, you know, the need for like the perfect observing site. I mean, no matter how good your technology is, you're limited by distortions caused because of turbulence in the atmosphere and, you know, different layers of different temperature winds kind of mixing with each other and causing distortions in your observations. So if you observe at sea level, you know, you can, if you have really good equipment, you'll still get decent observations, but your best observations are going to be very high. So there's less atmosphere to kind of pierce through. And in an area where there's low humidity. So the mountains in Chile are just like the perfect site for it in the southern hemisphere. So I think it suits everyone. Everyone wins. So
in summary, it's high ground, it's dry air, and it's clear skies that don't have much light or noise, not noise. Light pollution,
turbulence and light, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, super. Yeah, I definitely, just as a tourist here, if you ever have the opportunity to come to Chile to do some sort of stargazing, there's lots to see here, and the conditions are really, really fabulous. And I love the names of the telescopes.
They're very original.
Do you want to tell the names of the telescopes in the ESO?
So the telescope that I'm currently using data from, the instrument is called X-Shooter, but the telescope itself is called the VLT, or the Very Large Telescope. So very creative because it's very large. And then the next generation telescope that we're currently building, and I think is still a few years down the line. But it's called the ELT, which is the Extremely Large Telescope. So we're great with names, but we're better with science. So
and what could you see with the VLT that you couldn't see and using other sources?
The benefit of the VLT, I suppose, is that there's 4 actual unit telescopes that you can actually combine and use together to get even greater resolution than before. But I read that the scale of detail you can see would be like being able to see something the size smaller than the size of a DVD on the ISS. You can see that clear of a detail, and the ISS is like 400 kilometers above Earth, and you can see something the size of a DVD. So it's good.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. It's been so nice to talk to you. I was just wondering if Lána, I'll go to you first. You know, we talked about it a little bit, but you know, would you have any advice for younger women who are interested in getting into astronomy or into science, and what they can do to find out more?
Absolutely, yeah. I think one of the things that I've learned over the years is the kind of power of asking for somebody else's advice or their support, because there's so many women out there that are in STEM that are so willing to act as a mentor, or you know, to kind of just fill in the gaps that you may not have from just like, you know, general going to school, because I think your mind can be so you know, set on one thing that you maybe don't expand it until you actually talk to somebody. So I would absolutely encourage people to reach out and to have a look online for any resources. And as I said before as well, is, you know yourself what you love and what you want to do. So you know what you're going to put the time into if you're passionate about it. So identify that and, you know, kind of go after that.
Great. And Jessica, would you have anything to add?
Yeah, I mean, sort of the same as Lana, really. If you're passionate about something, definitely follow it and look into it more. And I guess what I've learned as well in, my studies is there's really no stupid question. Like, everyone has thought of that question before. If you think your question is stupid, like, it's not. Like, usually someone else in the room is probably wondering the same thing. So you might as well ask it, and you're probably helping like your classmates and colleagues and stuff as well. So.
Yeah, that's very good advice. Well, no, it's been really great to talk to you guys, and from the southern hemisphere where it's summer to the winter in Ireland, and really love to see you in person someday, when this is all over, and maybe see you in Chile. But it's been an absolute pleasure to have you guys, and congratulations on all the work you've done, and I'm sure those PhDs are coming around the corner soon, and your work is fascinating, and we'll link in the social media post to the organizations that you're working with, so people can find out more information. But thank you very much, and take care, guys.
Thanks so much, Ashlyn.